like peanuts and paydays, Molly and Rick. Hey guys, how are you doing? So I'm going to review a couple of things that I really feel have saved my skin. Now one of these products I mentioned in one of my blog posts several months ago about my skincare routine. And one of them is new to my skincare routine. So these two things are really great for anybody who has acne or blackheads or oily spots. And if you're looking for something to save you during winter, these are it. Now, I really struggle, like I have combination skin. So through here, it's very oily. And then through here, it's super dry, which means that depending on which products I use, my oily zone can be oily and dry at the same time. So it's pretty horrible. And it's so frustrating to be trying to solve one problem and then creating another. So most acne creams or acne medication or just spot treatments are going to be too strong for me. So I'll use them, like, let's say I have, a breakout or two in my T-zone. I put the treatment on it, the spot treatment, and the next thing you know, it's dry and crusty. And my skin can also tend towards the sensitive to very sensitive side, just depending on how it's feeling that day. Let me move this a little lower so you can see me a bit better. All right, so without further ado, here are the two things that have saved my sensitive, kind of oily, totally dry life. Okay, so number one is grease lightning, or sorry, greased. Yeah, no, grease lightning. I've been calling it greased. Okay, it's grease lightning, and it's from Lush. And at first, I didn't really know what to think about this because I see stuff like this. So its caption is tea tree and aloe gel. Effective tea tree gel cleans skin and removes oil. So it's one of those things where it's like, oh, this is for people with like really bad acne, like the cystic, like deep in there, right? False. So I was kind of not interested in it as a customer. And then when I was going through training at Lush, they talked about it, and everybody was in love with it. I mean, even people who had very like borderline desert skin. And so I was like, what? So I tried it myself, and I took home a teeny tiny sample, and I used it on a breakout that I had, and oh my God, my life was changed. So I think that the deal with this stuff that makes it so perfect for me, and I know I'm getting ahead of myself here, is that it has the aloe gel in it. So aloe is going to be very moisturizing and soothing to the skin. So when you're having a breakout, it's irritated, it's red, especially those deep ones that are super painful, right? And a lot of spot treatments don't have anything that takes care of the sensitivity and the pain. So a lot of spot treatments are going to come in and they're going to like knock out the pimple, and they're going to dry everything up, and they're going to like zap that whole area, and they're going to leave like a dry, nasty crater in place of the horrible erupting volcano. So it's kind of like, why am I going to have to choose between one problem or the other? Or at least that's how I felt. And I feel like my skin makes me a really good skin consultant for everybody, because if you're super oily, I know what it feels like, girl, or boy, or androgynous non-gender conforming person. And if you're super dry, I feel you, my friend. So I've tried pretty much everything, and if I haven't yet, I probably will soon. And if you'd like to see a review on anything, you can always let me know. But now I'm rambling. So I'm going to talk to you about the ingredients a little bit. So it has, number one, thyme. Then it has rosemary and tea tree, and it's all an infusion together. So those are herbs. They're super natural, and that's what I love about Lush, is they use as many natural, non-preservative, vegan or vegetarian, basically impact-free, I call it, free trade ingredients as possible. So all of that to say, you can do your research on Lush, but I don't just love this because I work there. In fact, there are definitely products that I'm like, meh, this isn't my thing. But then I have others where I'm like, my precious. So, forgive me. So anyway, so it has the thyme, rosemary, and tea tree infusion. And then it has water, organic aloe vera gel, seawater, and grape juice. It has a couple of other things too, including lavender oil and witch hazel extract. But those things are really awesome. And so let me go into a little bit of what, oh, you can totally not read that. Sorry. I was like, you can read it yourself. Okay, so number one, the first couple of things, the remedy stuff, I feel like that is the portion that is the hardest to get down if you're into essential oils yourself. I like essential oils. I have essential oils. Whenever I make my own skincare products, I have a really hard time finding the right balance. So I'll get something that's supposed to be like really soothing for the skin, and I wind up pouring way too much essential oil into my carrier oil, and then like I'm kind of irritated and it's like a mess. So anyway, so those two, or those three, sorry, are very soothing, I would guess. I don't actually know. I don't know why I said that. But tea tree oil, and I do know this, is a natural antiseptic, antibiotic. So it's going to come in and it's going to take care of whatever like weird, nasty, gross germs are, you know, taking over your skin and causing the breakout. And it's going to help with that. And then the next ingredient, water. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. And then, of course, the aloe vera gel is what's so moisturizing, and I talked about that earlier. And then it has the lavender oil in it. Lavender is super balancing, which I clearly need, especially in those moments where I'm breaking out. And I had a really bad breakout on my chin here a couple of weeks ago. And I mean, like, it was probably the worst pimple I've had all year. And it was the kind of thing where normally I would feel and see the scarring of it for maybe 4 months after, and I could still find it like 6 months later and be like, where was that? Oh, here's this little pink spot that's left over. And I could feel it erupting like a month before it actually came out. So I was pretty worried, especially because I had so much stuff coming up with the holidays that I didn't want to ruin that or not be able to take pictures or feel self-conscious because I had this like super painful mass on my face. So I was putting this stuff on it before it even came close to erupting, and it really helped. I mean, it was bad for maybe 3 days, but other than that, it was either below the surface or it was on its way to healing. And never was it crusty or peeling or weird and scabby, even though I pick at my scabs. Gross. I can't believe I just admitted that on camera. So I love, 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 love this stuff. Now, how I apply it, I'll come right out of the shower. I'll have just washed my face, so it'll still be a little wet. And I will spray on the toner from Lush. Oh, here's mine. Roma water. You can spray on whatever toner you use. The toners from Lush are meant to be a bridge between your moisturizer and your skin. So they're supposed to help just draw in the moisture and like suck it into your pores. So I use this one, but I also use another toner, and I'll explain that later. But anyway, so I spray this on my face, have a little teeny bit of water, and then I'll take this and I'll pump. I don't want to waste the product, but I'll just pump a little teeny bit in there. You can figure out how much you need. It's going to vary for each person. I mean, even if we have the exact same skin, I don't know if your face is the same size as mine, if that makes sense. So anyway, so I have the toner water on and the regular water, and I squeeze this out onto my fingers, my clean hands. Always have clean hands when you're touching your face, by the way. And I just rub it into this portion of my face, kind of like that. And it feels awesome. It doesn't feel dehydrating. It doesn't feel like it's sucking the life out of you. You know, sometimes you put on these oil control products and you're like, oh my gosh, I think it sucked out my soul and my past life and like, you know, everything else. But this one doesn't feel like that at all. It just feels very soothing and calming. And it doesn't really have much of a fragrance. So I don't think that it would bother anybody. So I love it. And then this brings me to my next product. I spray on my Shea Moisture African Black Soap Problem Skin Toner with tamarind and tea tree oil. What a name. So this is the one I mentioned in my blog a couple of months ago, and I still love it. I'm still addicted to it. I quit using it for a little while when I first started at Lush just to see what would happen, A, and B, try and use some other things instead. So I was just using the Roma water as a toner. And the Roma water is great. It's super soothing. I'll talk about that a little bit more. I guess this is becoming a 3-product review. But it wasn't doing anything to help with my oil control or to help with my blackheads and whiteheads. And I was finding that I had little teeny tiny pimples, just super tiny spots and like little spots of texture. So that was gross. And so I decided to bring this back in, and guess what? My skin cleared up right away. So when you find something that works for you, stick to it. But you know, I'm an experimenter. I love to take a little bit of the science side of skincare and try that out too. So this stuff, yeah, totally addicted to it. I got my husband addicted to it too. It's great because it's androgynous. It's not necessarily just for girls or just for guys. It's for everybody. And for this stuff, what I used to do before my like little vacation from it was I would spray about 2 to 3 spritzes onto a little cotton round. You know, the kind that you can get like either at H-E-B or the grocery store, the drugstore, Target, or whatever. So I would do that. But since I started working at Lush and their toners are all like you just like this, I've started kind of switching that up into this routine. So I do 2 on my forehead, and then I do 1 on each side of my nose, 1 kind of in the middle, and then 2 on my chin. So I'm using a lot more product, but also my skin has been nearly perfect since I started working at Lush. And this horrible breakout that I'd had a couple of weeks ago was because of some stress and hormones. I mean, I just moved, so everything's been really crazy. And also, I tried on a makeup item, a primer that had dimethicone in it, which is like my holy grail rule is never use anything with dimethicone. And yeah, I broke out within, yeah. So I don't know that it was totally attributed to just one of those causes, but it definitely was like the worst breakout ever. Oh, sad memories of that breakout. Anyway, so using this stuff has saved my life. And yes, I've been using a ton of it, but I just kind of pat it in, and or when I put on whatever moisturizer or serum I'm putting on next, I'll use that to rub into the area as well. So before I go, I will talk to you about the Aroma water that I tried from Lush as well. And I know that some of these videos have a lot of Lush products. It's just that I've been experimenting with them, and I really only share with you guys stuff I'm really excited about. And I will be honest with you. So I'm not being sponsored by Lush. Nobody told me like, hey Sam, if you ever write or talk about one of these reviews of our products and it's negative, we're going to fire you. Like, no, that's not the case. And I'll probably be done working at Lush in January because I'm just a seasonal. So I would love to stay on and work forever. I'd love to be part of core staff, but our team is so talented and there's so many people. There's a very small chance that I'll be taken on to core staff for the full year. So anyway, without further ado, the Aroma water. This stuff, I was so confused about their toners at Lush before I started working there. And before I go, I'll probably buy one of each of the toners because I'm addicted to beauty products. But this is the most gentle one, and I like it because my skin is so tricky because on the one hand I'm dry, on the other hand I'm oily, on the other hand I'm really sensitive. So it's a bit of a mess sometimes. So I got the one for sensitive skin just because toner is going to go on right after you cleanse your face. It's the first thing that touches your skin. There's literally no other barrier. Sometimes I can kind of get away with some less gentle stuff further down in the process. But for me, I cleanse my face, exfoliate my face, toner, serum, moisturize, sunblock, then any kind of makeup I'm doing. So I don't expect that most people are going to do that. I had one of my clients come in to Lush the other day and she was like, okay, so tell me what you do exactly. And so I went through the whole routine with her, and but I was also talking about face masks, which in case you're wondering, face masks I usually do either in the evening, during a bath, or after a shower, or right before a shower, and I just wash my face before the mask. I don't normally do them as part of like my morning routine. I know some people do, and I think that's awesome. I just can't seem to get my act together in the morning. So I was telling her my routine, including face masks. So add another step or two into that, and she was just like, and I was like, I know, I'm a crazy skincare fanatic, so take it with a grain of salt. And I broke down the routine for her. Anyway, so back to the Aroma water before this video is too terribly long. It's kind of like I talked about earlier. It's just supposed to help make a bridge between your skin and your moisturizers so that your skin becomes more moisturized. And this stuff is very balancing. It has lavender oil in it. It has rose oil in it. And the lavender oil, like lavender and juniper, are both super, super balancing. So that means if you have redness or discoloration or oiliness or dryness or splotchiness or blotchiness or kershmatiniwiness or whatever, it's going to help make it even. So it's going to even out whatever discolorations you have. It's going to even out whatever irritations you have. So it's really, really great for people with sensitive skin. And then rose oil's very similar. It's a natural antiseptic. It's a natural antioxidant. Antioxidants help prevent aging, by the way. So we should all be putting a ton of antioxidants on our skin and into our bodies. And that's pretty much all that's in here. There's also a special blend of basically essential oils that Lush's founder created, co-founder, Mark, and nobody knows what's in it. It's like a secret. It's super hidden in his safe. The story is hilarious, but it's really, really nice. And so that's the difference between, like, I could go out and get rose oil and lavender oil and mix it with some water and create my own. But there's kind of that extra element that makes this separate from anything I could create on my own. So yeah, I'm loving this one. So if you guys have any questions, please leave me a comment or go to my blog. You guys know how to contact me at this point. And I hope this video helped. So as a quick review, and I will leave notes in the description box below with links to each website. And I mean, you can always look on Amazon or look at your drugstore, drugstore.com or whatever. But in order, it was Grease Lightening by Lush. Basically a Black African toner by Shea Moisture. I'm not saying the whole name again. And the Aroma Water by Lush. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel.